Welcome students and parents from the class of 2022. I am Mrs. Prang, the post-secondary counselor at Central High, and this section of the college planning presentations is on supporting materials, which is ultimately an addendum to the applications presentation. For the supporting materials, one of the pieces that I mentioned was that you may or may not need recommendation letters to support your application. Step one would obviously be to determine if you need that letter or not, and if so, how many letters you need and who they should be coming from. If your college is going to need a teacher recommendation, the goal from the college perspective is that they would receive those letters from core teachers. For the world of college, core classes and core teachers in high school would be from English, math, science, social studies, or your world language teachers. So those would be options for you to request letters from. And ultimately, they are looking for a current perspective. So in their minds, that would be letters from teachers that you have had in either junior year or senior year. When you think about senior year, you don't know what your classes will be, who your teachers will be. And as we learned in the application portion, you might have applications that are due mid-October, early November. So yes, you could still invite senior level teachers, but they may not know you as well. It is helpful if you happen to have a senior year teacher who had you in a previous year of high school, that perspective they can share. But it is likely that you might be looking most heavily at your junior year teachers. Some colleges do also require information from your counselor. When it's classified as counselor, that can mean any of the 5 of us. So we allow students from Central High to ask any of the 5 counselors. So whether it's your alpha assigned counselor, me, or if you have really connected to a different counselor that's not your comprehensive counselor, that is fine as well. So we do not care who you ask, but we do ask that students are intentional about connecting. We don't do anything automatically for students, so we want to know that you are actually inviting and asking us to be the contact person for you. So you do still have to connect with a counselor and then potentially some core teachers. If you would like other perspectives, maybe your boss or a research mentor or your supervisor at a camp, if you want a letter like that, it's completely fine. Most colleges do have an option for uploading other letters, but please note that those cannot replace any required letters from core teachers. So again, getting organized, figuring out what you need is very valuable. We also don't want you to over ask. We have students each year who just see, oh, I'm applying to college, I'm going to need rec letters, and they invite all of these teachers to write, and then they look at their list and maybe none of their schools will accept recommendation letters. So you don't want to ask until you know exactly what you need and that your letter will be used. You also don't want to invite 10 teachers to write for you if the most your college will accept is 2. So again, that planning and organization piece comes first. Also, the note at the bottom of the slide is something that we'll do in senior year. It is called a FERPA release, and the college applications and our transcript release documentation requires that you sign off waiving your rights to view any recommendations and forms that are prepared on your behalf. The colleges ask you to do this so that they know that the letters were all written candidly, honestly, and that you didn't have influence over the content. So it's something that within the application process, the colleges have you waive, and then we include a waiver like that on our release forms as well. Another piece of the application process is a resume. So a resume could be that the college is asking you to upload a copy of your resume. It could be that your teacher that is writing for you asks for a copy of your resume. Otherwise, the resume is something that is usually a section of the application. And it might not be an upload. It might be that you're actually keying in the application a list of your activities, your honors and awards, and you might be limited in how many items you can list. So the goal is that you, throughout this year, will be working on that list of activities, that resume, and then as you go to the application process, you will have everything organized and you can either upload it or you can refer to it to copy information into your application. The purpose for colleges who are asking for your activities and your honors and awards are because they want to see that global perspective of you. Maybe they want to picture what you would maybe be involved with on campus and see what you would contribute to the community. So the resume is really, they should be a way for them to see what you're passionate about, what you spend your time doing. And there's not a particular thing. There, as we look on the next slides, it might be that you have a part-time job. It might be that you have family responsibilities. It might be that you're involved in clubs, organizations, and sports. The content isn't as valuable to them as like, how can we learn about you? That's the goal. What's on your plate? So I'm going to provide an example of the Common Application and how that would translate into the actual application. So they have a section called activities, and you can report a variety of activities. The screen is listing the categories that they allow you to choose from. So I'm sharing this in the hopes that you will use this to brainstorm. Some students feel like only their high school clubs, organizations, sports are the things that can go on their resume. But it's anything that you're spending your time on, whether it's in the community, your religious organizations, volunteerism, part-time jobs, and as I mentioned, family responsibilities. Some students don't have a long list of extracurriculars at school because they have to go home and take care of a younger sibling. They want to know that. They want to understand you and what you're balancing. So with that Common App, you can list up to 10 activities, and they want you to list them in the order of preference. So as you can see, you're going to give details such as, what category did it fall in? What is this, small description of that activity or organization? What grades did you participate in that activity? And then the amount of time, what is the level of commitment? So how many hours per week, how many weeks per year? And then they will ask if you want to participate in a similar activity in college. In that same regard, there's a section called Honors. It's within the education portion of the Common Application, where you can list up to 5 educational honors. Maybe you're a member of honors societies. Maybe you've achieved success at an academic competition. Those are things that rather than activities, you could list in an honors section. Naviance also has a section where you can build your resume. So if you're not sure where to start, the tool in Naviance, as you can see, has the categories. You can click on that and you fill in your information and it builds your resume in a template. So if you want to use this feature to help you kind of walk through in a wizard type way to build your resume, this is an easy way for you to do that. And then your teachers and letter writers would also have access to the information that you list in Naviance, and you can just simply refer them to this next school year. So to get to this section, after you log into Naviance, you go to About Me, My Stuff, and then Resume. For the essays, we looked at that within the application, specifically with the Common App. Maybe you have that main personal essay, maybe you have college-specific essays that you have to write. It is super important that you are planning and organizing for your essays. So knowing how many will you need to write. Every year, students decide, close to a deadline, oh, I've decided to apply to this particular school. They pop that school into their Common App and then discover they have 2 more essays that they have to write. You don't want to have that kind of last minute scrambling, because then your essays are going to reveal such. So these are the main topics. That main personal essay, it's really getting to know you. And a lot of colleges are simply trying to get to know you more, and things that are important to you. It should sound like you. It should be your voice. The examples that I've used in the past are that, if there was a pile of personal you essays in a room that did not have names on them, and a parent came in and read through that stack of essays, they should know exactly which one is yours, because it sounds like you, it's authentic, and they hear your voice. So that's important to think about when you're writing that essay. Another essay prompt that is popular for the school specifics is them wanting to know why you are interested in going to that particular school. So why us, why Michigan? That kind of essay is very important to the school, for them to understand, did you do your research? Do you know that this is a good fit school for you, and why? They want to know that you're not simply throwing a dart, that you really know about their school, that you know how their curriculum is organized, you know what their community is like. So this type of essay requires significant insight. So that's where going to the virtual information sessions, meeting with the admission representatives, if we are able to ever visit campuses, digging into their curriculum paths. If you're going to major in this, what does the course sequencing look like? Why is that a good fit for you? What are the student organizations that you might become involved with? That's going to be important to be a part of that particular essay. And then the last one that is also very common is connected to a major that you declare. So if you're choosing a particular career path or major within the application, then often there might be a why are you choosing this major? What experience, exposure to this particular career path or field led you to this decision? And why is it a good fit for you? So those are 3 major essay types of prompts that will be necessary. And so again, it's important for you to get a jump start on knowing what's coming and what topics you might be writing about. The other piece that could be considered supplementary and supporting documents is if you are bringing a special talent to the campus, and maybe you are an athlete that's being recruited at a particular school. Maybe you are going to be auditioning or submitting portfolios for visual or performing arts. So these are just additional layers to your application. So if you are considering college athletics, if you are looking at NCAA Division I or II, then you will have to register with the Eligibility Center, and you'll want to do that by the end of this school year. I then send your transcripts to the NCAA, and if you have test scores, you will send those to the clearinghouse as well, and they determine if you are eligible for athletics. Please communicate with me. I will help you with that that process and make sure that you know how to calculate eligibility. Their basic mantra for Division I is 2.3 or take a knee. And that's looking at your core GPA only. They remove all of your elective classes. So I can help you with calculating some of those things as well. We do have a guide on our counseling website that you can download, and it walks you through all the information as well. For the visual and performing arts, it will be important for you to know what kinds of portfolio or addition requirements are necessary, and your timelines can be different. Some of them have you do everything simultaneously with the applications. Some have you be admitted and then schedule auditions. So you know, the organization and timeline piece is even more important if you are seeking to pursue either of these options. So with this supporting document information, you know, again, the key takeaways are, you know, brainstorming essay ideas, figure out what essays you are needing. Once those prompts are shared, so again, that's usually late winter, early spring of junior year, I will share essay prompts out and, you know, figure out, do I need to write this? Is that something that you can be doing throughout the summer? And then if you're going to need recommendation letters, be brainstorming which teachers you might want to invite. Which counselor would you want to connect with? And all of those things can still happen in August. You don't have to invite or ask teachers and counselors this year. August is plenty of time. We ask that you give teachers and counselors 2 to 3 weeks notice. So asking in August is plenty of time before October, November deadlines, but you need to be thinking about who you might want to invite and connect with. Getting yourself organized with a resume so that when you are filling out applications, it's more of copying information over, not brainstorming and trying to remember everything at that point in time. And as I've mentioned in all of the presentations, you can certainly schedule time with me, email me questions, look at the resources that we have on our website, and or connect with a college mentor through our partner program, Mentors for College. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found the information valuable, and I look forward to seeing you all soon.